we officially start the show like a normal couple?
Like a normal couple.
Okay.
Welcome.
Your hair
is crazy tonight.
Here,
For our podcasting audience, you can't see my wife's hair, but it is weird. I mean, it's like it's sticking out the back. She's got it in sort of a bunchy, crunchy, whatever.
A bunchy, crunchy?
What do you call it? I don't know.
Bun. I was trying to do a bun, but then now it's a big ponytail on the top of my head.
Anyway, hello, Jeff. Hello, Steve. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Annette from the Jersey Shore.
Here, how's that? Is that better? No, it isn't. Why is it doing all kind of weird stuff?
I don't know. But Steve says with Jeff, you're abnormal but normal.
Okay. So let's start.
Okay. Welcome to episode 3 of the Disney
Couples Podcast.
There you go. Here, you're going to take the mouse. My wife is in control of the show now. She's going to close it like she did that one week. You're going to close the whole thing. Close. Okay. So
you didn't start it. You welcome, just one welcome, not 5, 6. Welcome. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, I got to do this again. Okay, well then I'll do it right into the mic. Okay. Ready? Welcome to the Disney Couples Podcast, episode 3. Our top 5 Disney couples.
I'm Patty.
And I'm Jeff.
And we are the Moliternos.
Yes, we are.
We have been married a long time. And sometimes it seems like it's a miracle. This is a true miracle.
This is a miracle. I'm going to take these off here. But welcome to the show. We were off last week because you were a bit under the weather.
I was more than a bit under the weather, and I am still coughing. I did bring something to sip on, some water.
Yes.
The cough is not, I'm not sick. I don't feel sick, and so I don't know exactly what the cough is. If it's just a residual cough.
I think you got me that bronchitis. You got bronchitis?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. That's right.
Okay.
So if you hear her clearing her throat.
Look, I will try very hard to not sound like I'm hacking up something.
You better not. See, now as a professional podcaster like myself, what I would have done there when she coughed, if I knew she was coughing, I would have hit the mute button like this. Watch this. I'm going to cough. Pretend I'm coughing.
What? That was disgusting.
You saw me coughing, but you didn't hear me coughing.
Well, they heard me coughing. Okay. So
that's
tonight,
what the mute button's for.
Because I am behind the 8 ball here, I had planned a show for tonight, except I'm not ready for the show for tonight.
Right.
So instead, we are going to do our top 5 Disney couples. Now, I came up with my list. He came up with his list. We have not seen each other's list at all. Oh, his is in a sealed envelope.
No, actually, it's in an envelope from some place, and I just wrote on the envelope.
Oh, okay. So,
but it could have been from Funkin' Wagnall's porch.
Why are you like showing all your account numbers
sealed
and everything
in a mayonnaise jar?
So
no one knows the contents.
I have my top 5. He has his top 5, and this will be a true test of can we get along for a 40-minute show.
Jason may be interested in seeing that.
Can we get along?
Yes, we can.
I don't think so.
I think I'm going to have to do a Karnak episode some night.
Okay.
The amazing Karnak.
You can do that on your earlier show.
Okay.
So, like I said, I am going to be sipping water.
You know what that means.
I'm sipping water.
Okay. I thought maybe,
No, I don't. That's the wrong show, sweetheart. Okay, so we're going to get right into this. If you know this couple, if you like a couple we mentioned, we'd love to hear from you. See what you say. And if you don't agree with our list, you can say that too.
Too bad.
I am much more agreeable.
You can be.
I am.
Okay.
Okay, so number 5. Who do you have at
So
number
we're going to
5?
start number 5. We're going to go through 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Do you have the year that the?
I do not.
I
You didn't
have
tell
years.
me that.
Well, I shouldn't have to tell you everything.
You just told me. You said earlier today. You said come up with a top 5 list of Disney couples.
Okay.
And they're on the back of this.
So who's your
right
number
here.
5? You can go first.
Not ladies first.
No, you go. You do it. You go number 5.
Well, I'm not going to make that other joke. You know, when people say ladies first, and then you say, no, you go first, and then that means I'm a lady. No, then the other person says man before beast, but I'm not calling you a beast. So
okay, so I'll go first then.
It's up to you. You're in charge of the show.
Number 5, my number 5
okay,
is from Bullwhip Griffin, the butler.
Mm-hmm. Played by Roddy McDowall.
Played by Roddy McDowall.
Okay.
And Arabella Flagg, played by Suzanne Pleshette.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie came out in 1967. Now, if you've never seen that movie, now Disney Plus, you've never seen it.
No, I've seen it. I just would have never. That one never even occurred to me.
So
there's a Disney couple thing here.
So that movie came out in 1967. Disney Plus now has a disclaimer on it. Because there are some probably
cultural stereotypes or whatever.
Plus I think somebody played someone from Mexico that wasn't from Mexico. They darkened their face or something. There's some of that kind of stuff going on in the movie, which but if you've never seen that movie, it's a cute movie. I like it. Some people hate it. I read the book first.
Okay.
So, yes, I did read the book, and you know what? He's in love. The butler, played by Roddy McDowall, is in love with
Suzanne Pleshette.
And what happens in the movie is he is the butler for her grandfather, and she is living with her grandfather along with her much younger brother. And her grandfather dies penniless. They lose everything, and the younger brother stows on a ship to go to California for the California gold rush. They're East Coast, and he stows on a ship to go, and the butler goes after him. And
you got the whole story?
Well, no.
No, I'm just kidding.
There was 3 minutes.
I'm just kidding because I don't know that I have a whole story with every one of mine. But I'm gonna have to come up with something. But
she then eventually goes out.
She goes out
to California
to meet him or to find him.
I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, something.
Okay.
But he is such a gentleman. He is such a gentleman, and he is, he loves her, but he's not going to say anything, and because different stations in life.
Right. That's interesting. I would have never, ever, ever thought of Bullwhip Griffin for a Disney couple's top 5. But they are a decent couple. I'll give you that.
Okay.
I'm not going to say they are bad. I just wouldn't have thought of them.
Okay, so go on.
Okay, so this is tough because
no, just one. Just one for number 5.
I know 4 and 5 were sort of close together, but I'll start off with I'm going to give this one number 5. Okay. I'm going with, this is a strange one to some of you out there probably. I'm going with Wanda and Vision from WandaVision, which technically was actually from the movies, the Avenger movies prior to WandaVision. And I'll tell you what, I wasn't really crazy about the Wanda and Vision relationship in the movie. They had a couple of movies like that, where they were, starting to get together, and I wasn't crazy about it. I really wasn't. But then when they had WandaVision came out, the show that they had on Disney Plus, I actually started to appreciate their relationship more. You had Wanda, who was basically completely broken up, obviously, over the fact that Vision had been killed. I mean, he was, technically not a complete true life form per se, but, so she was so distraught about Vision being killed by Thanos. In her grief, she basically creates this whole world, this whole sitcom world, and
in her Lala.
in her La La Land, whatever you want to call it. And
So she's a lunatic.
what?
She's crazy. She is crazy. We would call that in real terms, she's lost her mind.
She brought Vision,
and she held all these people captive.
at least a bubble world version of Vision back because she loved him so much.
She held all these people captive.
Yeah, that was a little nuts. That was crazy.
She was crazy.
I'm not talking about that, though. I'm talking about them and their relationship as a Disney couple.
Okay.
Okay. Now, here's the other piece of it. But, okay, so then you got Vision, who, wasn't really Vision in this bubble world that they were in the Hex or whatever. But Vision obviously loved her, and I don't want to screw this line up because it was one of my favorite lines in the show, where Vision, this is a quote, this is a very impactful line. He says, "But what is grief if not love persevering?" I like that line. That was pretty cool. I thought that was cool. Okay. So I'm going with Wanda and Vision, or Vision and Wanda, however you want to do that. So would be my number 5 couple.
So Mary, I am somewhat congested. I will go for hours and hours and hours without coffee. But when I start coughing, a lot of times I know when I start coughing, a lot of times I can't stop. So, okay. So that was 5. Number 4. Who is your number 4?
Katie's out there, by the way. Hi, Katie. Number 4. Okay. So you want me to go first with number 4?
Yes.
Okay. Number 4. My number 4, moving from live action to animated, I'm going with Donald and Daisy.
You like Donald Duck.
I do like Donald Duck. He's one of my favorite Disney characters.
I can't get into Donald.
Well, Donald is very misunderstood. Yeah, he's very brash. Yeah, he's very annoying. Yes, you can't understand half of what he says because, he's always talking like that, So he's a misunderstood character. That's what I'm going to say.
So why do we have Donald? Why do we have Donald talking like a duck, but Mickey Mouse talks like a human?
Mickey talks like a mouse.
Mice don't talk at all.
Mickey talks like this.
Mice don't talk. Mice do not talk.
Look, we have people saying they love Donald. They love Donald.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Okay.
Yes. So we have people that say they love Donald and Daisy, and okay, that's okay.
But here's the thing. Okay, Donald, he can be very annoying. Very annoying. I'll grant you that. Very annoying character. He could be very mean. He could be brutal at times. But when you get Daisy on the screen with him, he melts and turns into a completely different character. His eyes light up.
This is not you.
Sometimes, what? Watch this. I'm going to pretend like you're not here, and then I'm going to see you for the first time tonight.
Okay.
And Donald turns into another person, another character when Daisy's around. Daisy is a very patient person, or duck. She's a very patient character. She puts up with his annoying, attributes, antics, whatever you want to call them. But Daisy is a very patient person, duck.
None of these people are people.
Well, okay, sure.
Donald and Daisy are not people.
They're regular folk.
Okay.
But Donald, there we go. Donald.
Nobody wanted to listen to me last week.
No. Oh my goodness. What do you mean last week? This morning. You were hacking away this morning.
No, I'm saying last week.
Yeah, she was bad. Her congestion was horrible. But Donald turns into another character. He's just completely different. He becomes a loving character. His eyes light up. He loves Daisy. One of the scenes that reminds me of this in particular, Fantasia 2000. when they're playing Noah. It's on Noah's Ark,
yes.
and and he's looking for,
and he can't
find Daisy. All these animals are paired up, and all the animals are walking off the ark, and he can't find Daisy, and he's completely sad and beyond himself. And then he gets sort of slammed around a little bit.
You would think he's a romantic or something.
He is.
Donald.
Well, Donald's a romantic.
You would think
that's why I relate
romantic.
to him. That's why
but you're
I relate
not
to
a romantic.
Oh, I am, absolutely.
You absolutely are not.
I'm a Donald Duck type romantic. I could be annoying. I could be. I
can't laugh.
But when I see you, my life lights up.
Oh no. Hey, let me look at me. You are the absent-minded professor.
Donald and Daisy is my number 4 pick. And when Donald sees Daisy as they're getting off the ark, he lights up, his feet do that little flitter thing, and he sort of lifts off the ground. And
we're only on out of 10. There's 10 couples, so you're only on number 3. I have 5, you have 5. That's 10.
Oh, okay. It's just we got plenty of time.
No, we don't.
Okay, so that's my number 4.
Okay, so my number 4 is Mickey and Minnie. Mickey and Minnie
predictable.
Mouse.
Predictable.
Okay, so they're the first couple, 1928. They get it for longevity. They've managed to stay together no matter what's going on, through wartime, through good times, through bad times, she just disappeared for a while there.
Like 20, 30 years or something.
And they're still together.
Uh-huh.
That's faithfulness.
That's all you got?
What do you mean that's all
you got? Donald and Daisy were around almost as long. And I think they're more fun.
But you know what? Here's the thing. We don't know for sure. I don't know. You're going to need to do some research.
Yeah.
We know what we talked in the last episode about.
Episode 2.
Was it Mickey and Minnie episode 2?
No, episode 1.
That was 1.
That was episode 1.
Well, when we talked about that, we know what Walt said, that on screen they play whatever character we need, and off screen
they're actually married
93 years.
93 years. Yeah, that's a long time.
Thick and thin.
Absolutely.
And they played whatever character they needed them to, but we don't know about Donald and Daisy. And it appears that they're not married.
Yeah, it's possible.
So he's a real cad there.
Donald the cad.
Stringing her along for lots of years. Okay, so we're going to move on to number 3.
Okay. Are you going first this time?
I will go first. Are we
going back and forth?
So my number 3 is from a 2009 Pixar movie, Up, Carl and Ellie.
I knew you'd pick them at some point.
Did you pick them at some point?
I'm not going to say.
Okay, so I picked them for number 3. And the thing is, they dreamt and they had these hopes and dreams, and they had no children, and they're saving for this trip. And things came up, life happened, they never got that trip.
Life happens a lot.
But in the end, she had the life, she was happy with the life she had. And, being content with the life you have sometimes is a good thing when you look back, not having regrets.
Okay.
But they're always hoping and dreaming together, and they were just a cute couple. Kelly says she should have picked them. I think earlier that I thought I saw, but I can't find it now, so I don't know.
I don't know
either. I thought Kelly did pick. Somebody did pick their top 5, and would love to know your top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have suggestions during the show, after we're done giving our top 5, you want to throw yours out there too, we'd be glad to discuss.
The scene in Up where it's like she finds out at the doctor's office.
Yeah.
The whole tugs at my
That's the yeah. I mean, what, like first 10 minutes of the show and you're already bawling your eyes out.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. See, now that's why.
That's why. What?
That's a tough one. That is a tough one.
Why?
Because I mean,
because in today's
get
society,
their entire coupleness
yes.
is done in the first 10 or so minutes of the show.
Okay, but how many people do you know that if that's the situation, one of them takes off?
Yeah.
You know, they don't stay together. Okay, so I can't have kids with this person. I'm going to find somebody I can have kids with. Or, you know, the in sickness and in health and good times and bad are thrown right out the window. And I kind of think we've done some of the staying together in good times and bad.
Oh, okay. Kelly had posted hers on the
page. Okay.
Earlier. So that's where you must have seen that.
Yes.
And yeah, we've got some YouTube people out there, Mellick Adventures. But
okay, so who is your number?
Who's my number 3?
Who's your number 3?
My number 3 on my official backside of the envelope.
Backside of water.
Okay, ready?
Yes. It's not funny. It
will
ceased to be funny.
I will divine the answers
you
to
guys,
number 3.
I would blame this on the audience. They encourage you. You have to stop encouraging him.
Nobody's encouraging me. No one.
No, not today.
Not today. Okay, my number 3, and again, not technically a couple, but I'm putting them in as a couple.
So, okay.
Mary Poppins and Bert.
They're not a couple.
They may not be a real, they're a platonic couple. How's that? Let's hope that's all it is. Otherwise, Mary Poppins has just been, you know, out goofing around with whoever. You know, first the, you know, the chimney sweep, and then, you know, the lamplighters, and, you know, who knows who else she's been out with. No, her and Bert had a special platonic relationship. They worked, they fed off of each other. They were a good couple together. Between the two of them, they helped turn around the Banks family. Uncle Albert. I mean, I'm not sure, whose uncle was that, by the way? Was that Mary Poppins' uncle, or was that Bert's uncle?
I think that's Mary Poppins' uncle.
Okay. I mean, either way, that's a great uncle to have. So Bert respected her, treated her like a lady.
How do you know? You don't know that.
He treated her like a lady. And she acted like a lady. A little,
He's making things up here.
A little tough sometimes. You know,
she was a nanny.
She was a little rough on some people.
Nanny that blew into town.
She blew into town. Okay. And then blew out again. But no, I like Mary Poppins and Bert. And again, it's one of my favorite Disney movies to begin with. So I had to.
I wouldn't count them as a couple, but you can.
They're a couple of nice people.
Okay.
That's a couple.
Okay. So who's your number 2?
Why? What?
Who's your number 2? That was number 3.
Oh, you mean I got to go to number 2 already?
Yeah.
Number 2, really?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I just wrote these down like
a
couple hours ago, so I got to look here.
It's hot in here.
It is very hot in this room. We got the air running now. Okay. Ready? Number 2. Disney couple number 2 for me. Flynn Rider and Rapunzel. Also, obviously, Eugene Fitzherbert.
And that was from Tangled from 2010. And that's my number 2.
Is that your number 2?
That is my number 2.
Give me a hug.
I'm not hugging you. It's too hot. Okay.
So we both, look at that. We agreed on number 2.
We do agree on number 2. This is
Flynn and Rapunzel.
This is our first Disney couple that we agreed on.
Our first match. Yeah, actually, we didn't agree. We didn't have any of the same ones.
You know what? But we've managed to stay married 37 years without agreeing on our favorite Disney couples.
Because our differences make us stronger.
Is that it?
That's what it is.
It's getting deep in here.
It is getting awfully deep in here right now.
And it's still hot.
But yeah, so Flynn and
no, I will tell you what I like about them.
Okay.
So
just step right over me, but go ahead.
No,
just go ahead. I'm kidding.
What do you like about them?
I want to hear what you like about them. Ladies first.
Okay, will you stop it? So what I like about them is that, first of all, he's downright criminal.
He is.
He is. He's a criminal, and he's
too late for that.
He's downright criminal, but he manages to put that life behind him and, become a really good guy.
And why did he become a good guy?
Because he loved her.
Yeah, and I think she drew it out of him because deep down he was a good guy.
Oh, you
but
think
she saw
that and drew it out of him.
And drew it out of him.
Yeah, but sometimes women don't have that ability. I think I think that we expect women to do that, and that's too much pressure.
Well, and that is a trap that I've seen some people get into, where the one person looks at the other person and says, I can make that person better. And, that's not really your job to make that person better, really. I mean, how many people do you know said they were going to make that person better? About your former boyfriends, I'm assuming, right? There, she's coughing again.
I'm sorry.
You're talking about your
No, I was talking about you.
Oh, my goodness. So you think that I was a work in progress and you had to make me better, huh?
No, I think a lot of women think that. I do think.
If I know I can change that person. Don't count on changing that person. They may not change.
You're right.
And you may.
How about we say they don't change unless they have the desire to change?
I think she's talking about me secretly.
I didn't say anyone. I'm just saying that people, you can say, I'm going to eat healthy for my family so I can be around, but that will not, it has to start internally. You have to, or, I'm going to eat healthy because I want to do that, or because I feel like this is what I should do. I'm going to, let's say reading the Bible. I can't force my children to read the Bible.
Are you throwing the hair right into my computer over there?
This.
She's taking her hairs out, and there's an open computer on the side here.
Okay, so
wide open.
So
with a hard drive hanging out of it.
They don't care.
Well, I do, because I don't want your hair clogging up the fan.
Mary says.
Yes, Mary says
it's not likely people will change, right. And it isn't. And
unless they have that nature in them to begin with, but they just, there are times where I think people have certain characteristics that may be there that they just might need some help, confidence, something to help bring that trait out. But there are plenty of people out there who, it may just be a bad person. I mean, it just might not be the nicest person. Don't count on going in and saying, "Oh, I'm going to change that person." Don't go into it like that. I wouldn't do that.
You wouldn't do that.
No, I started off with the perfect product to begin with, so I didn't have anything to do. She was perfect from the start.
He says these kind of things, except when you guys aren't around. That's somebody saying.
Are you going to cough again?
No, I'm going to try to avoid coughing again.
I keep trying to mute the mic before she coughs.
Okay, so that is our.
So we tied on number. But here
I bet you our number one is the same.
It might be. The number two, I didn't really get to explain.
You explained a lot.
Well, no, but here was the thing. Chatty Charlie.
Do you not like that?
No, I don't.
Why?
It makes me feel bad.
Does it really?
Yes, it does.
You are chatty.
It hurts my feelings. It does.
Does it really?
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
But that's okay.
It's okay to hurt your feelings.
I'm like Teflon. Stuff just bounces off of me.
No, you are not. You hold a grudge.
No, I do not. No, I actually very, very rarely do I hold a grudge. If somebody does something like 10 minutes, an hour, next day, a lot of times I'm just like, who cares? Big deal. No, and then I'll go see the person the next time I see them. It's like it never happened.
Okay. And Annette says they just need a little encouragement. And that's true. You know what? We all need a little encouragement. Mm-hmm. And the power of our words. And I know this, and I have the ability to say very nice things about people. I don't have that much ability with you. And it's not that I don't have the ability.
I'm Mr. Lucky.
No, it's not. I realized something recently that I do feel like for the first 30 some years of our marriage, I spent a lot of time trying to, I don't want to say make you feel good about yourself, but like being your cheerleader. Okay. I was like this hero support. You needed help with something, I mean, you had your own business. I helped you in your business. I took care of a lot of your needs, like physical, buying you clothes, doing things. And
I was going to say, you better watch how you better define that.
I meant like going to the store, buying you clothes, you trying them on, me taking them back if they didn't fit. I spent a lot of time supporting you. And it's in the last few years that I said, okay, I need to find out who I am, because I've invested a lot of time into your life, but not a whole lot of time into healing from trauma from my life, from when I was young and
from the early days.
From the early days. And so I need to invest some time in my life figuring me out. And I don't know, sometimes I think that if I had to do it over again, I would have done things slightly different in that aspect.
That you probably should have done the the airplane speech when the mask drops.
Yeah.
Put it on your own face first, and and then attend to your kids. I'm her kid. Yeah, that's
okay.
I'm the kid. I'm the child.
You've been the support system you should be, but at the expense of my own health.
I don't want that.
Yeah, I did not take care of my own health. I didn't take care of myself. I took care of everyone else.
Yeah,
and that is something I would do differently, given if I could go back. Very rarely do I ever say if I could go back, I would do something differently. Two things I know for sure I would do differently.
Okay, I'm scared.
No. The one is to make sure I was taking care of myself, so then I didn't get so sick.
Yeah.
When I went gluten-free and started to feel better, Marcus said, I never knew a mom who wasn't sick. So, that was...
Okay, that was one. What's the other?
The second one is, I feel like I would have done some stuff different before my dad died.
Okay.
So... the net says you have to care for yourself before you can fully care for someone else, and that's true. Yep. And you also have
and that's not a selfish thing. It's not being selfish.
But society makes you think that as a mom, a wife, and a mom.
I agree.
Now, and I think we swing the pendulum like the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah.
Like now it's all about
how did
self-care. I don't know.
Get to this from Rapunzel.
It was Flynn.
Well, here's the thing about Flynn and Rapunzel that I love about the two of them is their complete commitment to each other to the point of giving up their own lives. And they both did it. They both did it in the final moments of the show. You have Rapunzel saying she's going to go with Mother Gothel, which basically she's just throwing her life away. Basically, she made the promise. She always keeps her promise. She said, I'll go with you. And, I'll do whatever you want, basically throwing her life away and becoming a prisoner. Very sacrificial in order to save Flynn. And what is, I'm breaking up a little bit, and then what does Flynn do? He does the same exact thing, except he literally, he gets her close to her and then he slices her hair off. So she, Mother Gothel has no reason to have her anymore, to control her. I don't know if he knew that Mother Gothel would turn into an old hag in 5 seconds. And then, but no, the two of them within just moments of each other, sacrificing themselves for the other.
Yeah.
That's
okay. So our number one couple
Oh my God. And I know we're going to match. This is like match game 79.
If we match, what do we get? What do we get? We get a free trip to Disney.
Tell us, Don Pardo, what do they get?
Disney will say, you get a free trip because you're so in sync. Okay.
Are you listening, Disney? Are you listening? Listen. If we match, we've written down our answers, and neither one of us know the other person's answer. You're going to go first? You want me to go first?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
The
Mr. and
Incredibles.
Mrs. Incredible.
Are we incredible or what? We did not talk.
We did not.
Annette says, if you match, you take us all out to dinner. Annette's funny. She's funny. So we did match. And the thing is, I do feel like in many ways, the Incredibles, we are the Incredibles. We are the Incredibles. We're this.
Not that we're incredible.
We are incredible.
Well, I mean, not in the sense.
When we talk,
we're not superheroes. We just play. We just play them on podcasts.
When we talked about the Incredibles before, Mary says she still hasn't watched that movie. Mary, go watch the movie.
Mary.
If you have not watched the Incredibles, I am encouraging you to go and watch that movie. Now, here is why I feel like we can identify with the Incredibles. By day, they're a normal couple. He's going to work. She's taking care of the house and kids. They have normal interactions. The kids are fighting at the dinner table.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
But there are so many lines in that, especially the first movie. The Are We There Yet?
Mm-hmm.
We'll
get there when we get there.
and how
taking directions on. I'm driving along. Where do I got to turn off here? and she'll tell me right as I'm at the exit ramp, we got to turn off here.
Mary doesn't feel so incredible lately. You know what? I don't feel incredible either. But I know that when we work together, and that's, that whole message of that movie is working together, you can accomplish so much more than when you are trying to work alone. And I feel like that's something that you've had a harder time learning in your life. I feel like that is something I'm trying to drag you along and get you on board with, but that we can accomplish so much more together than alone. And you are a traditional loner.
Hard to believe. I am a loner, and I come to you every week and talk to however many people want to watch.
Steve says that they've read the book because I read it to Nevaeh. And
that's a good book.
I was actually going to reach out and say I'd love to read to Nevaeh again. And last week
she's coughing.
Last week was a bad week, even this week a bad.
Here, Nevaeh, for our story tonight, we're gonna. That's what it would have been.
You're making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you. I am not.
So
but that's what it would have been.
When they work together as a family, they can accomplish great things. And that is the message. I keep saying that's the message I want. So I want people to understand when you work together, you can accomplish great things. However, you can't work together when you haven't taken care of yourself and figured out your own
garbage.
Garbage is a good
garbage is good.
Garbage is a good word for it. And too often people don't want to do the hard work to take care of their own garbage. I personally have there's a couple books that I've read, and then I did go multiple times to talk to some, I won't call them a counselor. How about a counselor?
Yeah, friends. I'd say more like friends.
But it was the Unleashed Healing Center I mean, that's what they do. So
Yeah.
we can say that they're friends, but to deal with some of the things from when I was young.
Mhm.
And not even when I was just young, but like,
Can we say free at last?
no, no.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
We're in a much better mood this week, fans, than last week.
Oh my goodness.
Well, no, you're feeling better.
I am feeling
You're
better.
feeling much
I
better.
am feeling much better. So
She was hacking along out this morning, though. I don't know why. You're having a little relapse.
no, because I don't know. I don't know.
But at least you're up and around and you're not, completely out of it like last week. But yeah, no, the Incredibles both agree on as our number one couple. You pretty much said everything I was going to say.
So let's get back to the taking care of the things from your past.
And actually, while we just sort of ramble on here, if you guys have any Disney couples you'd like to add that it's like one of your favorites.
Yeah, add them, and
Put
so
them in there.
we'll talk about it a little bit.
We'll bring them up.
We'll talk about it for a little bit. So here's what I want to stress. I read an awesome book, helped me deal with, and we can get into this at some future event. Helped me deal with some things that I didn't even remember. That's the goofy thing. It's in there whether you remember it or not. And I had this incident when I was 7. I almost drowned, and some words were spoken. And those words, 40 years later, 45 years later, almost 50 years later, were still impacting me, even though I didn't remember them. And there are times, I remember when we were first married, you said something to me and I got so angry at you.
Yeah, I don't remember specifically, but I do remember some times where I would say something completely innocent, had no idea that I'd said anything to bother you. It was something that, if I said to any of you right now, it would be like, oh, yeah, cool. Okay, sure. And I was like, she got completely, you just like, you just all of a sudden just, shot at me. And I'm like, what did I do?
And sometimes it's something an old boyfriend said or a parent said. It's a phrase or a place. I'm not just talking about for me. I'm talking about, you go somewhere and you smell something. Smells, words, they all can trigger. And you don't even realize that it's triggering a memory. That response comes up, and a trigger. Yes. A trigger. And those triggers affect your marriage. So I dealt with a lot of those things.
Okay. Can you tell me what they are so I can make sure I don't say them ever again?
No, I dealt with them. It's okay. You don't have to worry about it.
I know.
I dealt with a lot of those things and realized, and sometimes just saying, okay, I realized why I responded the way I did in a situation and writing out how that situation made you feel. But, some of it was going back to that point and looking at the situation at the time. So I dealt with a lot of that. Have you dealt with a lot of yours?
Probably the one main thing. Sure. Are you talking about my dad?
No, I'm just talking about any of it.
About any of it. Okay. See, my dad died when I was young. So, yeah.
So?
Should I talk more about that?
If you want.
Sure.
You shouldn't talk about anything you don't want to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I was 7. My dad died of a heart attack. 1969. Yeah. 1969. And so I was 7 years old. And I didn't understand, but I didn't get to go to the funeral. And at the time, it didn't really mean much to me or didn't bother me.
How's that? That still looks good.
Your hair looks really goofy.
I need it up because it's so hot. Okay.
But it was like years later, I was like, why didn't I get to go to my dad's funeral? I really wanted to go. I never really had that closure, I guess. And yeah, it was years later. I mean, really not until probably the last 5 to 10 years that I probably had the closure that I probably should have had back when I was 7 years old. So that was a big deal. And that caused me a lot of grief over the years. But I know at the time, the idea was, let's protect little Jeffrey. He's the baby of the family. He's only 7 years old.
But all those little things
didn't help.
All those little things affect your relationships.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it probably made me more closed, I guess. A little closed to, opening up to people.
Not necessarily close to people, but close to
getting close
to people.
Yeah.
And anytime you felt you were getting too close, you'd back away.
Yeah. So all you people out there, Disney fans, and just the fact that I'm talking to you about this is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
So
yeah.
I'm glad you're there, and I'm glad you're part of our extended family.
Kelly's is more guarded.
Yeah.
I think there was another, which I don't know that you've, maybe to some extent you have dealt with it, but I feel like things, you attach to things. Like you would say, okay, this is this potato chip
that I was going to eat. Yes, fans, remember the potato chip from several weeks ago?
He still has the potato chip.
I have it because my wife kept me from eating it. Look, check this chip out. Look, it's got a little smiley face on it.
They can't see it. They can't see it. Pretend they can't see it.
What do you mean they can't see it? Okay, this potato chip has a smiley face on it.
So you hold on to things because things.
And I was going to eat it. I was going to eat it a few weeks ago on the air, and my wife stopped me.
It's disgusting.
But yeah, now it's probably stale and. Ugh.
Okay, so
it's still sitting here.
So you attach to things because things don't leave you.
I suppose. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like to save things. I do like to save things to remember things by. We're not sure. You scared us in that. You scared us. You said mute. And we're like, I'm looking at the mic. No, the mic is good. I'm still here.
He loves that mic.
You know what? No, that's when you get into podcast mode. They say when you're doing a podcast, you should be 1 inch away from the mic. So we should
both be like this. This is creepy looking.
And we talk into the mic.
These people are looking at us saying they're creepy.
But when you get close to the mic, all of a sudden you have podcast voice. That's what happens. You go into broadcaster mode. Hello, fans. How are you tonight? That's what you do.
Now, speaking of trauma,
this is traumatic. Yes.
Yes. This reminded me of something. Speaking of trauma, in The Incredibles,
mm-hmm.
the whole movie is based on the fact that Syndrome had a traumatic experience when he was young.
Yes, he did.
And
don't give it all away to Mary. Mary, you got to watch the movie.
And things were said to him that he internalized and never dealt with.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, and the thing, I mean, we all have stories. We hear something when we're young, or we say something to our children and they grow up. And out of all of the things, Mary says she will watch it.
Please, Mary, watch it.
So out of all of the things that I said and did to my children, the goofiest things that they remember,
yes.
the goofiest that caused them trauma that they hold on to 30 years later. And they weren't said in anger. They weren't said, it was just a statement I made. And that's what they'll bring up.
Like the Lucky Charms?
The Lucky
Charms, folks. The Lucky Charms.
The Lucky Charms. And so.
It's a long story. Actually, it's a short story. You want to tell that one? Tell them about the Lucky Charms.
That when Marcus was little and he was sitting in
No, it wasn't Marcus.
Marcus was little. He was sitting in the grocery cart at the grocery store.
Oh, and Jeffrey told him about it.
And he asked for Lucky Charms. And our oldest son looked at him and said, Don't ask Mom for Lucky Charms. She's not going to get them. And I picked them up off the shelf and put them in the buggy. And Jeffrey said, you told me that when I was in our first house, which we moved from before he was 3.
So 1990, roughly 1990.
He was 2 and
yeah, he was almost 3.
When we moved, but he was in our first house. He was sitting in the high chair. He was eating Lucky Charms. He ate all the marshmallows out. And apparently, and I didn't even remember this until he told us, I said to him, if you don't eat all the cereal, I'm not buying Lucky Charms anymore.
Who wants to eat the cereal part of Lucky Charms? I mean, really, seriously, who does? It's the marshmallows you get it for.
And I made that statement, and he said, I knew I wasn't capable of eating it all. I would just eat the marshmallows out, so I never asked for it.
What was that? So it was 1990. It was like 10, 12, 15 years later, I think, is when he told Marcus.
Yeah. Held on to it all that time.
Held on to it all that time. He never asked for Lucky Charms after that until.
So that's all to say that we're all flawed people holding on to weird experiences, and then we get married and we drag somebody else into our weird experiences.
Yeah, and then we just share it with somebody else on a more personal level.
Our weird experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Our trauma. We share our trauma.
Yeah, we do.
So I am probably going to go because I can't keep talking.
You're done?
I think
so. Well, you've gone almost an hour.
Okay.
You've gone almost an hour. I think that's pretty good for a recovering sicko person with bronchitis or whatever.
Who are we discussing next week?
I have no idea. Who are we discussing? You said you had an idea already.
I was thinking Beauty and the Beast.
Okay. We could do Beauty and the Beast next week.
But we could also do, you have some
there's a ton. There's a ton.
I mean, we could do Carl and Ellie.
Yeah, these were some of my.
Here's the problem.
These were some of my runner-ups that almost made my list.
Who?
You got Pongo and Perdita.
They're dogs.
I know they're dogs, but still, I had Up. That was one of my runners-up.
Okay.
Aladdin and Jasmine.
But
they're not. They're not a real couple yet. But neither were. Mary Poppins and Bert.
Okay.
I have Beauty and the Beast was one of my runners up.
It was an excellent show. I pray you heal completely. Thank you, Kelly. How is King Marcus? Marcus is doing well.
King Marcus is doing well. In fact, let's see. On what day did we go? So King Marcus finally, since COVID restrictions have been lifting, a lot of the local fairs are opening back up this year. And what the King and Queen usually do is they go and visit some of the other fairs and they meet the other royalty from the other fairs. And so this past week, we ended up going to one of the local counties and got to spend some time, about 3 or 4 or 5 hours at a local fair. He's had a few other events that he had to make appearances for. So he's been making the rounds here as king, along with the queen and some of the royal court kids as well. So, yeah, he's doing good, though. He's doing good. Probably do another fair this week or next, I would think. So, but so these are some of my runners up.
See, I don't like Aladdin and Jasmine.
Okay, I just put them down, not
Do you
necessarily.
Know why?
Why?
I mean, they're a couple. We can talk about them. We can talk about them at some future time.
Yeah.
The reason I don't like him is he lies. He bends the truth.
Well, you said that about Mr. Incredible, though.
He does.
He does. But he was doing that to protect his wife and family. I had Pacha and Chicha. I know that's an odd one, but, Emperor's New Groove, had to throw them in there. Wally and Eve. That's another one.
They're not really a couple. They are not a couple. They're robots. How could a robot be a couple?
I'm just throwing some other ideas out here for some of the other ones that could have made the top 5, but in my mind didn't.
Okay.
They were on my bubble list.
Okay.
So, Yeah. So anyway, Steve, yeah, King Marcus is doing fine. Tonight we actually had a 4-H goat clinic where they call it a handling clinic. And you bring your goats out and you walk them around and you just do sort of like a practice showing of your goat just to, refresh your memory and just to get a little practice in, get your goat out there and have some fun.
Mary did share. Look, Mary did share. Thank you, Mary, for sharing in my group.
And that says that both of our picks were great. Thank you. Kelly is saying Duchess and Thomas O'Malley.
Is that from The Rescuers?
That sounds right. But is it? Duchess and Thomas O'Malley. Hold on a second here.
Or is that from the Aristocrats?
Yeah, it could be. It could be.
Yes, that's what it's from.
Is it?
I think.
You got to help us out with that one.
The Aristocats.
Aristocats. There we go. Kelly just said Aristocats.
Which I don't particularly like that show. I'm sorry. I don't. This is horrible. Horrible. You know what I don't like about it? They're cats.
She's not a big cat fan.
I'm not a big dog fan either, but I prefer dogs. Now, you know what? We had a cat.
We did.
We had an indoor cat. I loved my cat until it started peeing on everything when I had children.
Yeah. It was after the second kid, the cat just started peeing on everything. My tennis shoes were soaked in urine the one morning. I was getting up to go to put them on, and I was like, that was it.
So I do like, I love animals. I don't, as I've aged, I don't love animals in the house.
Mary says she's not a fan of cats either.
I don't like dogs in the house. And part of it is the more kids I've had, animals destroy things in your house. They do. Dogs chew up legs of chairs and
cats scratch them up.
And cats, like you're reading a book and the cat comes and sits right in the middle of the page you're reading or gets cat hair.
And then starts waving its butt and its tail in your face. She's doing this thing. Got her coughing again.
and so I love goats.
Yeah, goats are fun.
They're in the barn.
We love our goats. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I'll have to watch the Aristocats.
And then that one song we're not crazy about.
Lady and the Tramp was
is that the one with the I am the Siamese thing?
No, that's Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's what I was saying. Lady and the Tramp could be on the list of couples. However, he was just a tramp.
He's a tramp. That's no two ways about it.
No.
That dog, he's a tramp.
He is. But that scene where they're eating spaghetti, that was cute.
Okay, Kelly, Walt and Lillian,
yeah,
they are true Disney couple.
Here's the thing: I know if we do Walt and Lillian, I'm doing all the research, so it's more work for me.
So you're saying I'm just along for the ride? Is that what you're trying to say?
Are you going to research Walt and Lillian?
I could. I mean, I know a good amount about Walt. I don't know as much about Lillian. Maybe you could do Lillian, I'll do Walt. But that would be like, I'd have like all this stuff to research and you'd have like this little bit of.
I'm sure there's a lot about
probably
Lillian.
Not nearly as much about Lillian as there is about Walt. So that'd be a little rough.
Okay.
We could do it together.
We never do. He says these things. He says we could do it together, but we won't. I'll be doing it at 3 a.m.
Let's be independent together.
That's another movie.
That's another show, I know. We're going to be independent together.
We have a little boy.
Yeah.
Little boy.
Somebody just went in the next room over and getting ready to go to sleep. So we probably should wrap it up.
Me, I'm getting ready.
You're getting ready to go to sleep.
Okay. Now, Hercules is another movie that I have not watched.
I don't know that I've ever seen it all the way through.
I have.
I've
watched it, but it was not memorable enough for me.
There's a whole bunch.
There are a whole bunch.
Yeah. And this is not everyone. We're just looking at a list of Disney couples over here on our screen.
One of my honorable mentions was Woody and Bo Peep.
Woody and Bo Peep. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Buzz and what's her name? Jessie.
Buzz and
Buzz
what's her
and
name?
Jessie. That redhead. But is it Buzz and Jessie, or is it Buzia, whatever Buzz's Spanish name is?
Who is Maria and Gaylord?
Maria and Gaylord. Well, you're coming up with some that we're not jumping right on. Maria and Gaylord. See if you can tell us before we. Okay. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, I did get Jessie. Took me a while. And I also had to look at the screen over here to figure it out.
Maria and Gaylord.
Oh, the Von Trapps? Is that Disney? Or is that the Von Trapp family?
From The Sound of Music.
Yeah, that's not Disney, is it? That's not Disney. Or did Disney buy that intellectual property too? Yeah, Sound of Music, but I'm thinking that's not Disney.
That's not Disney. No.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you've got.
You got
it's Disney-esque.
It wasn't The Sound of Music,
but it's not Disney, unless, of course, it probably is on Disney Plus. Everything's on Disney Plus. So, yeah, Sound of Music. Have you ever watched The Sound of Music?
I hate The Sound.
She hates The Sound of Music. Can you believe that? I
all those memes where they show Julie Andrews, like she's
who was from Disney. She obviously is a Disney person, but
spinning around in the field, not caring. This is me not caring about the Super Bowl or whatever. That's me not caring about The Sound of Music.
Okay. What do you have against The Sound of Music?
I don't know, because it's not the length of it. Oh my goodness. I don't know.
With the sound
of
music.
Shh. Okay, so
Mary doesn't love that movie either. Kelly says it's a Walt Disney production. Really? Is it? I didn't think it was a Walt Disney production.
So
we're gonna have to look that up. That'd be interesting.
I do like, there are movies that are long that I
like Christopher Plummer, Julie Andrews are both in The Sound of Music. Christopher Plummer is, the Mr. Von Trapp. I guess that would be Gaylord Von Trapp.
So it says it is production company Argyle Enterprises, distributed by 20th Century Fox,
which now Disney.
Yeah, but
owns,
it was not
a Disney production. But now, because they own Fox, that's probably where it's now connected to Disney, because Disney owns everything.
Okay, so there is a movie.
We're talking about movies.
There is a movie that is very, very long.
The Sound of Music.
That's very, very long, that I enjoy watching maybe once every 5-10 years.
What's that?
Very, very long.
Is it a Disney movie or something else?
No. Very, very long. When I say it, most people say, I don't like that movie.
That movie? Movie?
Dr. Zhivago.
Oh my gosh.
I do like Dr. Zhivago. I tried to read the book once. I couldn't. The book is really big.
I'm getting a headache right now just thinking about it.
That bad.
It's so slow and boring. The only thing I like about it is the song. That's the only thing I like about it. And I got you a music box with that song.
That's my favorite song.
I know it's your favorite song. Does anyone know what song we're talking about?
It's Laura's theme.
The
theme from Dr. Zhivago.
Do, 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 do.
Please don't. Isn't that long? It is long. It is long. It's long before the intermission. It's long after the intermission.
Let's see. How long is Dr. Zhivago? Let's check this out. Dr. I probably won't even be able to. How do you spell it?
Z-H.
H. Yeah, that's his. Dr. Zhivago, 1965, 3 hours and 17 minutes. 3 hours and 17 minutes of Dr. Zhivago, 1965. Now, I do like Omar Sharif,
yes,
who is also one of the main characters, if you want to call him. I'd call him more of a cameo appearance in a movie called Top Secret. The height of Omar Sharif's career. If you've never seen Top Secret, you don't have to watch it. But it's if you like stupid
isn't Top
humor.
Secret rated PG?
It's rated PG.
It is not PG.
It is not. It was PG before they came out with a PG-13 rating. I mean, by today's standards, it'd be PG-13, verging a little bit on R, but there's really no swearing or anything in it. But there's a lot of really suggestive humor in it. Let's put it that way.
Not suggestive humor. It's just plain trashy.
Some of it's, I bet it's funny. You got to admit that.
It's trashy.
You loved it when you're the one who wanted to watch it, remember?
No.
Yeah. Yeah. This is back in the days of the VHS era. And she's like at the video store, she's like, oh, let's get Top Secret. It looks funny. Let's get Top Secret. I'm like, oh, it looks stupid. Let's get Top Secret. She kept going at it over and over again. Finally, we get Top Secret. I laughed so hard watching that show. You laughed. You thought it was funny too. But yeah, it's Elvis Presley type beach.
Val Kilmer as an Elvis Presley type character during sort of a quasi World War II Nazi Germany thing where he's doing a musical tour and being a spy and doing these Beach Boy type songs. It was nuts. I know it's not Disney, okay,
but it was funny show.
So one movie I really like.
You got a piece of hair.
I have hair everywhere. I'm shedding. I'm sorry. What is the White Stallions of?
What are we talking about?
A Disney movie that was because
I'm ready to say, see ya, pals.
So no, because we're talking about the Sound of Music.
Is that what I'm supposed to say? Is that what I say at the end of the show?
Okay.
Is it? You got to help me, Mary. What do I say at the end of the show? Do I say, see ya, pal?
The Miracles of the White Stallions. If you've never seen that movie,
Miracle of the White Stallion.
I love that movie. I love it.
Is that a Disney-based one?
It is a Disney.
It is a Disney.
And it's based on a true story.
Bringing it back around to Disney, even though we weren't talking movies so much. We were talking Disney couples.
Cutting me off.
Go ahead.
So the Miracle of the White Stallions, the Miracle of the White Stallions is from 1963. It is the Spanish writing school of Vienna, and they saved the Lipizan stallions.
Are they Lipizan or Lipizaner? I've heard it pronounced both ways. They're Lipizan?
Yes.
Okay.
So the white stallions, the Lipizan stallions, are threatened during World War II, and they save these stallions. And it's based on a true story. And if you've never seen, I don't know if they're touring, if you ever get a chance to see the Lipizan stallions when they're touring, it is a wonderful show. We did see it when Before Children, I think, or did we have Jeffrey?
I think we had some of our older kids were
we
born
went
by
with
that
my
point.
dad.
We went with your dad. I remember that.
And
it was at Youngstown State University. It was actually on
the basketball
court. They obviously changed it around and converted the basketball court and created a giant horse arena. Yeah.
And these horses, they
do that weird trot thing where they sort
leap
of
high in the air too. Remember?
Yeah, they jump up on their hind legs and they walk like this with their front legs sort of up in the air and do all kind of weird tricks and it's crazy.
We saw that show with my dad and
he enjoyed that. I remember.
Yeah. So when I watched that movie, I'm
sure you think of your dad.
Well, plus when I watched that movie, based on a true story, knowing that during World War II, these animals could have been killed and that would have been the end of that breed. And we got to see it because someone felt that was important enough during World War II to save that breed. Yep. So
at a large amount of risk.
Yes. They did have horses on the basketball court, Mary. Yes.
They didn't take any shots or anything like that. They were just strictly doing horse stuff. They were horsing around.
But it's a good show. Watch that one too.
Not quite on par with The Incredibles, though.
You know, the funny thing is, a lot of the early Disney shows, like I'm watching them thinking, they told a story. It was like a lot of the Pixar movies tell a story, but some of the other, well, I feel like Disney is sort of in a rut. They're just retelling the same story.
Live action this, live action that version of this.
You know, like how many, okay, so we have the animated Lion King, we have a live action Lion King, and it's the same story.
Which was just CGI, but.
Yeah, but it's just the same story. We haven't told anything new.
But yeah, I think Mary still is thinking what she said there. The horses were on the basketball court. Technically, I don't believe on the basketball court. What they do, I mean, the basketball court, the wooden floor comes up like almost like a jigsaw puzzle, but they're like square patches, and they hook them and they stick them together. And then they can take those and lift them and take them away and then change the structure of the floor to something else. Either that or they put something on top of it, but then they probably had padding or who knows what else. And then on top of that, then they had, bedding type material for the horses.
Okay, so Annette does agree. And Mary says some of the remakes are okay, but I would like some more and some new ideas. And I mean, there obviously are. There have been some, but like so Cruella was a slight
retelling. It was a little different,
but it doesn't follow the timeline. That was my big thing. And we could take you could take Toy Story and tell it from completely from Jesse's perspective. They've never done.
Yeah.
They've never how Jesse grew up.
Except for the montage when somebody loves me.
Please don't sing.
And they do Jesse's story there. But Kelly's asking a question here about Luca. She said she heard it's a fairly new story. It is based on, the basic story of the Little Mermaid, but the Little Mermaid is, that's a general story that has been retold a number of different ways from different societies. But yeah, read her review on A Mother's Random Thoughts, Kelly. It was a good news story.
Besides Pixar, Disney is not. Pixar is telling new stories. Disney is not.
Yeah. Well, but it was a different enough story. And let's just put it this way. Marcus, who's very critical, especially about live action remakes or in general remakes, but especially live action ones. Soon as the movie was over, we saw it. We did actually they didn't charge for it, which was crazy. It wasn't a premium pay $30 to see it in a type of movie like they've done on some of the other Disney Plus movies. Soon as the movie was over,
Luca has no couples in it.
What's that?
Well, it does have couple. There are couples in
Luca.
Luca.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, there aren't any traditional these two are dating.
Yes, thing. Marcus liked Luca a lot.
He said right after the movie's over, he said, "I loved it, loved it, not just liked, I loved it."
Now we have the Jungle Cruise.
So yeah, check out the review though that Patty has on A Mother's Random Thoughts. She has most of it spoiler free, and then you have like a spoiler thing at the end, but you don't have to read that part if you haven't seen it. We got the Jungle Cruise coming up here in just a couple of weeks. I don't know why we're talking about movies now, because it really isn't. This is our Disney couples. Well, there is a couple in the Jungle Cruise. There is. There's the Rock.
Are they a couple?
Probably not, but I'm betting there's probably going to be a little bit of romantic interaction between those two characters. Sure. I'll bet there will be. That's just my guess. That's my educated guess. Okay.
So next week we will probably do Beauty and the Beast. Okay. Is my bet.
Probably Beauty and the Beast next week. Okay.
Okay. So is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So we're going to get off because it's been an hour and 25 minutes, and you have to trim this to 40 minutes.
Do I really?
You do.
How?
You trim off all the stuff we just talked about. That means nothing.
Oh man. Okay. So I gotta remember here. I gotta look up what I'm supposed to say at the end of the
See
show.
you real soon.
Yeah, it's there somewhere. Yeah.
It's see you real soon.
Where is it? I don't
It's up there.
I missed it. I saw it, but then I forgot what it was.
See you real soon.
Okay, so I'm just being goofy.
Oh.
Anyway, Mary says that sounds good. I'm assuming she's, talking about Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
And yeah, she wants to see Jungle Cruise. We did not see, surprisingly, because you were sick. We did not see Black Widow.
No, but I have been watching, and I did do a quasi review of the first couple episodes of the Mysterious Benedict Society, and I am reading the book.
You guys have liked that. I have not seen it, but you guys have liked it.
Well, I'll rewatch those episodes with you.
When somebody
stop it.
Just
You're just trying to give me a headache.
I'm doing Jesse's story.
And
Jesse's
I sort of did a
story.
quasi review of Monsters at Work.
And that says Black Widow was fantastic.
I probably won't like it.
You probably won't.
Out of all the Marvel movies, what's my favorite?
Captain America?
No.
Captain
America is pompous.
Iron Man.
Oh, yeah.
I think we have a little love connection here between Patty and
Iron Man?
Robert Downey Jr.
I don't think so. Although I do like Robert Downey Jr. and I do like his story. He had
a rough life.
Mary has never seen a Marvel movie.
No, and she's not big into Star Wars either.
Okay, so I do love Iron Man. Thor I liked.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Captain America, but not enough to rewatch it.
Really? I like the first Captain America movie.
And then it all got so convoluted and mixed up. I hate the Spider-Man movies, and everything's so convoluted and mixed up, and nobody knows what storyline, and it's all arc. And
if you know your Marvel stuff, you know what's going on.
No, I'm saying we have intermixed everything.
Because they're Marvel characters.
I don't care.
Okay.
I do, and I will openly admit this. When I'm watching a movie, if I'm not writing down people's names, I will not remember them later.
Okay.
Okay, we watched Luca.
Yep.
Luca's friend is Antonio? No. See? I wrote the review. I wrote the review.
I just remember Luca.
Is it Antonio?
It could be. Hey, Jack. He might be sleeping.
He could be.
I think he's sleeping.
Luca shares his adventures with Alberto. See,
Alberto.
I wrote the review. I cannot remember the names.
And what was the girl's name?
Is it DiGiorno? I don't.
DiGiorno. Man.
They eat pasta.
They do.
They eat pasta.
They do.
Let's see.
They have some good Italian food in the movie. And that's what I liked about it, because it was, based in Italy. It had some good old Italian stuff in it. With a name like Moliterno, you gotta take those positive Italian movies as you get them, because there's so many negative stereotypes about Italians that are very stereotypical and can be offensive, and I think they should be banned.
Stop it! They're going to ban them now. A pizza? Okay. So,
yes. The girl's name was a pizza.
No, it was not.
Alberto.
It's something.
You can't find her name. Just IMDb it. You find it in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I was on IMDb. Do you think it was 2 seconds? No, Julia. But it's spelled with a G.
Yeah, that's right. G-H or something?
It's Giulia.
Yeah. Julia.
So, see, that's where I got DiGiorno.
Oh, yes. Julia DiGiorno. Okay. Perfectly understandable.
But I write the review. I cannot. I wrote the people's names down. I can't remember.
Are we done here? And Mary just says it's something with a G. It's close enough.
Okay.
DiGiorno begins with a G.
No, but it has a G in it.
DiGiorno.
It has a G in it. So I openly admit, hold on. I openly admit I can't remember names.
I'm bad with names. I'm bad with
characters in movies. So then
I'm bad with real names.
So I know Iron Man, Tony Stark.
Okay.
Thor. Don't know another character in there.
Thor is Thor.
Okay.
Captain America
is Harvey Mike. What was his real name? I don't know. And then what? I don't know.
That's okay.
What's his real name?
Actually, I'm having a hard time right now myself.
Captain America. What's his real name? You see?
I should know this. I should.
You know, the thing is, I know. I have 6 siblings. I know all their names. I know all their spouses' names. I know my grandchildren's names. I know the people watching and interacting with us. I know their names. I do not know. What is it?
What?
Captain America's real name.
I should know this. Like
Bruce,
just like that.
Mike.
No, it's not Bruce. Mike.
Tony. It's not Tony.
It's Tony Stark.
Captain America.
I should know this. I'm embarrassed.
You should.
Steve Rogers.
Thank you, Annette. See? Now, if you said,
I'm embarrassed.
If you said to me, "Who's Steve Rogers?" I would say Captain America.
Right.
But for me to remember, my brain does not work that way. And then when
it's like being on a game show.
What's Ant-Man's name?
Oh my goodness.
See?
If Marcus were here, he'd snap these off right now.
But then when they mix all of them in one show, it's just too much for me.
Here's the thing that gets me. When you're doing a live show, unless you've sort of studied what you're going to talk about, it's like you're on a game show and they ask you a question and you see the person on TV and you're like, I know that answer. I know it. And, but when you're doing it live and somebody asks you a question about something that you like 10 seconds ago would remember and a minute later you'll remember.
Mary said, not important. It leaves your mind so other things can fill the space.
Oh, there's space up here. There's a lot of space. Names
don't matter. Your family names do. And I try to remember birthdays and you know, I try to remember the important things.
Yeah.
I don't have the brain capacity to remember all Marvel, and there's way too many at this point. And now when they're doing all these, you know, this Loki and what was the WandaVision I watched with you guys, and that was entertaining up to a certain point.
Zemo.
And what was the one after WandaVision?
What, the one after WandaVision? You mean the Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Oh my goodness. 2 episodes in, I'm like, I've had enough.
Mary said Marvel is super complicated.
It is. And then, okay.
Zemo is a good character. I liked him.
So Falcon and the Winter Soldier, 2 episodes in, I said, they've introduced too many characters. I don't know who I'm supposed to know.
And I remember the Winter Soldier is Bucky. That's his nickname. Bucky.
And what was the then you have the Star Wars universe with this Bad Batch. I don't really care. I don't care. You lost me. And when they
and that's just when you get to my age, you won't remember your own name. I just remember Jersey Shore, and you'll figure out roughly where you live, and somebody will find you and take you home. So she forgets her name, and that can just remember Jersey Shore. That's all you got to remember.
Really? Yeah. Everybody knows her on the Jersey Shore?
I think so. I think everybody does.
Oh, okay.
But if she's on the Jersey Shore, she's at least close to home, and somebody will help her find her way home.
So honestly, I cannot, when it comes to the Marvel movies, invest anymore. I do like Ant-Man. And I even like Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay. But there are too many characters in Guardians of the Galaxy. Bluehead guy. Green girl. Yeah. Bluehead guy.
Whose name is spelled. No, it's
I like
Gamora, but But her name, when I saw her name the first time, I thought it was Gamera, which is the name of one of the space weird monster characters from a Godzilla movie. There's Gamera. And when I saw her name, I'm like, Gamera? What the heck are they calling her Gamera? That's from
Okay, so Annette
Godzilla.
says they will find me floating on an inflatable swan. And Steve says, Miss Patty, Nevaeh said your hair is so pretty. She loves it.
There it is.
Well, thank you, Nevaeh. It's
just like
it's crazy, but it's off my neck.
You should do two things on the side, two buns
No,
on either side. No. You could do a Princess Leia thing.
Okay, so I like the music in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's too many characters in that show. And then they mix them all together and they're trying to get us to all love that. And they lost me.
Okay.
I do like Ant-Man. But what's Ant-Man's name?
Again, Marcus would just, have it right in the top of his head. I could look it up.
And I've watched Ant-Man repeatedly. I've watched Guardians of the Galaxy repeatedly. Okay. Nevaeh needs to be in bed. It's 11 p.m.
I need to be in bed too.
I got some work to do.
Okay, I know who plays Ant-Man. That's Paul Rudd. His name is Scott Lang.
Okay, I knew. Now that you say it, I know that.
And Michael Douglas is Dr. Hank Pym, inventor of the Pym particle, which causes the shrink, to shrink down like an ant. Thing. The Pym particle.
Okay, so I need to go because
Evangeline Lilly is Hope Van Pym. Wait, what? Hope Van Dyne. I'm sorry. That doesn't make sense. She's Pym's daughter.
I don't know. Put it down.
It's crazy.
Okay, I am leaving.
And we are both leaving.
Okay, so you can go do this goodbye thing.
I'm going to do the goodbye. What do I say again? Okay. We'll get it figured out sometime. I'll put a big sign up right here to say what I'm supposed
Beauty
to say.
and the Beast sounds good. Good night, everyone. See you real soon.
Oh, thank you. That's what I'm supposed to say. Yeah, Mary reminded me. And yes, Kelly, thank you for reminding me again because I have a bad memory. So good night, sweet dreams. We hope you have a magical week. And we will see you next week. Hopefully King Marcus won't have anything going on next Monday night and
you're rambling.
That's not rambling. Hopefully King Marcus and I can be with you next Monday night at 8. And we hope to see you and talk about Beauty and the Beast at 9:30 next Monday night. Right?
Correct.
Okay. So again, have a magical week. And I think that's about it. I think I need to say one more thing, right? We will see you real soon. Should I say it like Mickey, though?
Go ahead.
See you real soon.
Good night.
Good night.